Man, patch 13.8, Yorick's finally gonna get buffs. He's been 47% winner for the past couple patches. There's no way he doesn't get a buff, right? Right? Oh, fuck. Welcome in, everybody, to the patch 13.8 Yorick catch-up experience. I'm gonna be teaching you guys everything that I've learned, everything that I've been doing right now, and we're gonna find out some good meaty information stuff. So first things first, we got the first Yorick bug fix in probably 17 decades. Holy shit, they fixed the Yorick bug? Whoa! Don't be too excited, It's only one bug, but it's a pretty impactful bug. So for those that don't know, Cleddy used to one-shot all the ghouls. Don't ask me why, I'm not a mathematician, but I just did, okay? Now they fixed it so that his E no longer one-shots all the ghouls. It's a huge change, because this matchup used to be completely unplayable if Cled ever just used E on ghouls. Now, they're all gonna be alive and kicking his ass. Stupid ass donkey. This matchup goes down a tier, it's a little bit easier now, but be careful, his early game is still a fucking donkey early game, which means it kicks ass. Anyways, recently I've been asked the questions of, hey Slugdog, there's a lot of builds, what are the good builds? There's a matchup spreadsheet, is it still up to date? And I just wanna say, yes, what the fuck do you think I'm doing? You think I'm doing this one time, just never ever do it again? My builds are still good. Ravenous is still the norm, this is still the norm, this works, hell even this works. And the matchup spreadsheet, yes I still update it, hell I updated it yesterday. The thing about the matchup spreadsheet is, although the builds may change over time, the information will never ever change. For example, Riven will always have fucking 15 dashes, right? So if I give the advice of run away from the 15 dashes, that tip will always apply no matter how much time passes. Again, this is the same thing for builds. Items rarely ever change, and then when they do change, it's often so small to the point where it doesn't even matter. For example, funnily enough, Bloodthirster got recently nerfed. However, the overheal build still works very efficiently, though it is tiny bit weaker. Now with that being said, let's finally get onto the report of Yorick within this section. Hey, it's me Slagdog. Today I'm gonna tell you what I think about Yorick in the current state. He's pretty dog shit, in high elo specifically. In low elo, he still kicks ass. I still think he's the most broken champion in the game to climb ranks with, but high elo, alright, that's about it. Now that was all trivial information. The thing I wanted to get upon in this video was talk about some of the changes that are happening. So in top lane, it's been a bit of a rough time, and there's a lot of tank tops and a lot of bruises, and it's been very brutal on us, right? So the only thing that's changed this patch is the fucking fact that Mobafire got nerfed. Wow, thanks, right? We nerfed Mobafire. That was a patch 13.8. Now let's talk about the build that I'm planning to try out and that I've hypothesized about. And there's also a new bug about Yorick. One of the things that I've been testing is the removal of Ravenous Hydra from the build. Preface this of saying, Ravenous Hydra is still an amazing item, it's one of the best Yorick items you can go. However, I've been testing different stuff. So I've been testing no Ravenous Hydra in the build. The reason I don't want to go Ravenous Hydra is because I actually don't even think that Ravenous Hydra fits with Yorick's main identity that well. The reason I think that is because Yorick doesn't really work well with attack damage in particular, and his main strength is in the ghouls and pushing towers. And although Ravenous Hydra offers wave clear, which is something Yorick lacks, it's amazing, and the sustain is beautiful, and it just gives you a fat load of value, right? Prowler's Claw first item is insane. It gives you so much damage potential, it gives you so much kill pressure, it's just so good. Eclipse is also a very solid option to replace it, however you are going to be missing the active, which has its own downsides. Though you do have the shield and movement speed that you get, which has its own upsides as well. But the point is, I love Prowler's Claw, it's an amazing item, and I just don't want to go Ravenous Hydra because I think that you delay your spike by a little bit. What I mean is, with Ravenous Hydra, you have to go your Mythic, your Grudge, your Hullbreaker, but by the time you get that Hullbreaker, the game might be already over, and it's going to feel kind of shitty. Meanwhile, going something like Prowler's Claw first item can help you snowball really hard because it gives you more kill pressure with the active and more lethality. Recently, I was testing in Practice Tool a bug that a viewer told me, and that was that Spear of Shojin worked on your ult. So when I first heard that, I was really confused. I was are you a bit silly in the brain? What do you mean Spear of Shojin works on ult? Explicitly says that Spear of Shojin doesn't work with ultimate abilities. So why the hell would it work with ultimate abilities? And lo and behold, it works with Yorick's ultimate ability. So anyways, Spear of Shojin's effect works on Yorick's ult. And now this got me thinking, how can we slot in Spear of Shojin in the build? And if we're going Spear of Shojin, we're definitely going to have to slot Ravenous Hydra out, so this leaves us space to go Powerless Core first item. You might be seeing something different, a Sheen item. Why would you go Sheen? Why would you go Sheen? The only item it builds into is Essence Reaver, and you've always slogged dog. You've always dismissed Essence Reaver. Here's something I never really thought about, and that's the value of Sheen and how much I dismiss it. The thing about Sheen is that it makes a Q hit really hard, which is very, very solid. However, I thought about it for half a second as well, and I realized that I use Sheen as efficiently as possible. So what I mean by that is whenever I go Triforce, Sunder, or just Sheen in general, I always do a tiny little tactic that some of you guys might not know, and that's that I might release Maiden every now and then just to get a Sheen proc. And just like that, I time my Sheen procs. In fact, that was one of the first Yorick tips and tricks videos I made. I talked about Sheen Optimization. Going in early Sheen can give a lot of different value. It gives more burst, but also gives pretty solid consistent DPS. The only problem with going Sheen early is that it's going to delay your second item. However, one value that this build has is it doesn't really matter if you delay Grudge that hard. And the reason being, Grudge's main value doesn't really settle in until you've scaled with levels first. So what I mean is Yorick ghouls are based on how much attack damage you have, of course. However, Yorick doesn't like building AD because the scaling's kind of shitty, but he loves the armor pen effect. And ghouls don't actually hit really that hard until a certain point, which is around level 13 or 14. So with Prowlers, Sheen, and Grudge, you're going to be around a certain level threshold point where getting that Grudge actually makes a big difference. The third item is Swifties. You might be thinking, why Swifties? Oh, it's replaceable, I don't care. You can go Tabbies, you can go Mercs, you can go fucking Sorcery Burst, doesn't matter. I like Swifties because the movement speed applies to the ghouls, of course, and it's pretty nice. And this is where it gets spicy. The third item I'm going is Spear of Shojin, of course. Our beautiful product of item. The thing about Spear of Shojin is that it has a really nice effect of the movement speed that people don't really talk about, and it's really nice because you can do some clutch fights and also spam your abilities, but mostly I just want to test it out with the fact that you have your ult ability cooldown reduction, which is pretty cool. Of course, we got Hullbreaker, gives the tankiness within the build. The difference between this build and other builds is the fact that you have Shojin and Hullbreaker. The reason I say this is really different is because Shojin in itself is already kind of a defensive item. It gives you movement speed when you're low HP and can help you dodge and chase people. And that's a really strong part. You can run away from people with Shojin, you don't really need Hullbreaker. But Hullbreaker is the fact that now you're tanky and you're really fast. And you slow them with Grudge. So now I'm thinking, this is a really solid build. There's not really any counterplay. You can't really go on Yorick because if he's low, he'll just run away really fast. But you're also slowed. And if he ever at any time wants to kill you, he can chase you down with Grudge and Prowlers. And he's tanky of Hullbreaker. So good luck with that, man. And the final piece of the coffin is Essence Reaver. Upgrading Sheen to Essence Reaver. One issue that I've struggled with Shojin is the fact that you run out of mana really quickly. Of course, you have a lot of ability haste, so you spam a lot of your abilities, right? Essence Reaver confirms the fact that you'll never ever run out of mana again for as long as you are auto-attacking with a Sheen proc. Now, you might be thinking, okay, where's the cleaver? You know, don't you like going cleaver? Where's the GA? Where's the utility items? And that's where the problem with this build lies. There's not any sustain at all because there's no Ravenous Hydra. There is no room to really go any GA death stands, more any flex item. It's just full forced. This is by far the highest DPS tower breaking build you can go in the game. Prowess Core goes with the lethality, which synergizes with the armor pen of Grudge, which synergizes with Essence Reaver, which synergizes with Hullbreaker, which synergizes with the ability haste of Shojin. There is not a single build you're gonna get better at breaking towers than this full build. Also, the 1v1 is insane. With that being said, I'm gonna be testing this build a lot, and I'm excited to tell you guys how it goes. I hope you all try it out. This build has its downsides, it has its strengths. That's the fun part about Yorick, testing different stuff out. Now, with that being said, if I see one person ask, hey Slogdog, I see you going this build. Does this older build from 3 days ago still work? If I see that getting asked, Daddy will get angry.